What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are going to talk about this amazing feature that we have in the game, which is the Blitz. Since this feature has been released, I've been like, wow, the amount of time I have to spend in this game now is so little, it's just amazing. And even with the real-time arena and so on, I get things done in the game way faster. So if before I was spending like 6 hours in this game to do all the Blitz rotations and everything and so on, now I spend like maybe 2 hours and a half, 3 hours, and I'm done with everything, raids, Blitz, real-time arena, the normal arena and so on. It has been quite a blast since they released the real-time arena and also the Blitz. So in this video we are going to take a look at a few tips that can help you to maximize how much points you can make on Blitz. And like always, if you find information on this video helpful, I hope you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash the like button because that always helps. Okay, so the first thing is how should you start grinding your teams. You should start always from the smallest. This is a very basic tip, but you should always start from the smallest to the biggest. And some people do this the other way around, so they can get the milestones faster, and that's okay, but in terms of efficiency, it's not the best way. So you always want to go with your smaller teams, and most teams, they win on tier 1 and tier 2 without doing any effort, and only on above tier 3 you might have to consider a few matches. But early on and for the first rotation you can just use whichever characters, and all those save squads will be useful afterwards. So you got the small ones, usually it's teams without any synergy, then you start to have teams with synergy. Useless team, this one has low synergy but it can get some wins even at Blitz 8.0, and then you start going and going, and you do this all the way from the first match until the last one. So on the last one, as you can see here, I'm going to explain this team after. So when you reach the last one, and when you wait for the next refresh of Blitz, then you want to do exactly the opposite. You want to go from the strongest team to the weakest, and like this you will maximize the amount of points you are getting. Because, well, for example, on this one, when you jump to the next one, it has more than 30k power difference, so that's not going to be relevant. But for example, on this situation, from my symbiotes to my Black Order, I'm going to get the strongest enemies, but I'm going to face them with a weaker team, so I will get more points for the team I'm using. Because if I would refresh the enemies with this specific team, I would get enemies equal to them. So like this, going from the biggest team to the smallest, you are always fighting stronger opponents, and that will allow you to get more points. Now you have to pay attention, because sometimes, for example, from 70 you can go sometimes all the way to 10, so a 60k difference, and you might be lucky and you might still be able to face those enemies, but then you have to be more careful because it will be less likely that you win. Now another thing that you can do, and you once again go to the top, to the strongest team, and for example, if you don't face any teams that you find, so this one is going to be easy, this one is going to be extremely easy, and this one is going to be average. So if you find only like a Black Order and things like that, then you want to search for a team that is like 50k power less, and shuffle the enemies again to see if you find an easier team. So if I would try this one with the symbiotes, I would definitely lose. So I want to use this method so I can jump forward and search for new enemies. So that's not enough, so maybe here, let's see. Okay, so now we have new enemies, so you want to fight these ones, and then use that to your advantage. Now in situations like this, for example, we have these enemies. These are quite easy. If you know that these enemies are very easy for a specific team, like for example, these enemies are not so great against the Avengers, but for the Brotherhood it's going to be extremely easy, especially because they have Drax, and with Drax you can focus all the negative effects and you are going to win very, very easy. So if you know that maybe you cannot win with this team, but if you know there is a team in the same range that can defeat them very, very easily, you should take advantage of that, especially if the team is weaker but can still win. Okay, so after that you want to sometimes you really need to jump like a few levels across, and there is also this other situation. So we have this team of the Kree, which has 2 characters with tier 14, so that's a huge difference between those 2 characters and the other 3. So depending on the fight, for example, on this one you face Black Bolt and Captain Marvel, so this one you are going to lose for sure. Now the way you can avoid this is to use teams like this one, like the Defenders, to select the enemies for the range of this one. So this one is on the same range of the Defenders, but on the Defenders, if I would shuffle the enemies for them, I would only face characters with gear tier 13, and then I could choose for this team, and I would be able to win with it very, very easily. Okay, so that's another tip. Now another one, and the reason why I'm using all the 30 teams is so I can use teams that, for example, if I'm using the big teams, and this is quite stupid, but it actually happened. I was using my symbiotes, and I fought against defenders where I had Luke Cage in the middle and Punisher on the position number 4. And somehow I lost the match. If something like this happens, you want to use your smaller teams, the ones that don't always win on 8.3, and use them to go from 8.0 to 1.3 once again, so you can recover that loss that you had. Now another tip that I was just thinking about, and I think I forgot about it. Okay, I can't remember exactly which other tip I wanted to give you guys, but let's move forward and focus on the rotations. Now it's very easy to do the 8 rotations a day, and this is one advice that I'm going to give you, but I don't know if it's true or not. And the advice is to save your charges and use only them after you spend all your normal rotations, your 8 daily rotations. I'm not sure, but if you use the charges early on, I'm not sure if it's going to send you further in those 8 rotations or not. It happened to me once, that's why I'm saying that I'm not sure if it works or not, but from the few times I did the 8 rotations in the past, it happened to me that some teams I was not able to use them anymore, and the others I was still able to. And right now, to maximize my points, I'm just saving all my Blitz charges and only use them before the daily reset of the Blitz, which is at 1 a.m. for me. And this happens after my daily resets of the mission. So it's a little bit different. I have 4 charges resets, but only 3 of the 8 times of the rotations. Okay, so now finally we are going to take a look at this team, and the reason why I use this team, and you need to pay attention, so they are on the same range as defenders, but you never want to use them at the same time you are using that specific range, and that's because of Ultron not having any red stars. If you face enemies on this situation, now it's not going to show up because it has the enemies from the Kree, but what happens is that you have a very unbalanced teams, and more often than not you lose because of that. So if you have a team like this with Ultron, and even if you have Drax and some big characters with the red stars to get a lot of points, you need to be careful to never use this team out on the same zone where you're using your defenders. That's why this is my first team that I usually use, or it's the first team or the last one, and usually I use this one first. So, and you can see right away that we can jump from some enemies to the others. Okay, so let's see and do some rotation and see how well I do. On average, I'm doing around 1.8. I'm having 1.8 defeats in per rotation, so it's not terrible. And as you can see, I did almost 13 million points with the rotations from yesterday. So let's get started and let's see. Oh, okay, I remember the last tip I wanted to give. The last tip, and it's very, very important, you need to pay attention to the character that is in the middle of the team. So as you can see, like right here, we have this shape, and we have the character in the middle. The character in the middle is usually the most important one. If you cannot kill the enemy in the middle, you can be into huge problems and you might not be able to win. Another thing that you need to take into consideration is if the enemy team has many characters with taunt, and if you can overcome those characters with taunt. If you can, that's great, you're going to win very, very easily. But if you can't, for example, if you have a Hulk and a Captain America giving each other turns and defense ups and energy and so on, then it's very, very likely that you are going to lose the match. So always pay attention to the character in the middle, and always make sure that you can overcome whichever tank the enemies have, because if you focus on the tank and then you have like a Punisher dealing you damage, you are not going to be able to win. Okay, so with all that said, let's see if we can actually win anything here. So let's go back to this team. We should be able to win this one very, very easily. So let's find out. Okay, 1 win, very, very easy. Now we are going to take a look at the symbiotes. The symbiote should be able to win this team very, very easily, but I rather use this one. So with this team, it has a lot of burst damage, and it has the tank here, but I should be able to get rid of Spider-Man, but maybe not. Let me see if my... okay, so this is not good. Let's change for the Brotherhood. You need to change around which teams you want to face to make sure you are able to win. This one should be very, very easy. So even that we lost a little bit of points, then you want to go back to the top, go to the strongest team in that zone that you have, and then you can shuffle it once again. Now, some people lose against the Avengers. You need to pay attention to wherever Sif is, wherever Thor is, and wherever Hela is. But I'm not going to use the symbiotes for that because it's too risky. And instead I'm going to use the Black Order against this one and make a little bit more points. So this one should be fairly easy. Okay, this one is extremely easy, so I'm going to use this one instead. Yep, should be easy. Okay, fairly easy to win. Now symbiotes once again. Now I don't like any of these teams, and the amount of points I'm getting is quite low, so I'm going to lower the tiers a little bit and see if I can spawn a new wave of enemies. So I have this one with Captain Marvel, I have this one, should be okay, and then I have the other one. I'm gonna try this one, should be able to win, but with this gigantic Black Panther. Okay, let's do this one instead. That Black Panther, he can shine onto my Gregs, and that can become a problem, so let's avoid that. This one with Captain Marvel, this one should be extremely easy, so let's find out. Okay, another win. Now let's go back to the symbiotes. We are going to spawn the enemies. This one extremely easy, and because of that we are going to use instead the wave 1 Avengers. Hopefully you can use them. We can't. Okay, so let's go back to the symbiotes. We have this team, and now we are going to use the Inhumans. Okay, another easy win. Now let's go back once again to the symbiotes. Now we have another symbiotes, and we have the defenders. So defenders, they have Jessica Jones in the middle. You definitely want to avoid this one. This one you are going to lose for sure. So let's go back. Let's shuffle the enemies. Okay, so now we have different teams. We have a very weak Punisher. We have a fairly weak Iron Fist, but we have that big ass Daredevil. So this is risky. Okay, let's let's lose. No, I don't want to lose. Okay, let's go back. Let's use the defenders. We are going to activate some enemies. And let me see, Punisher. This one is a little bit risky. Okay, we have a new wave of enemies. Graviton, Punisher. We should be able to win this one. Let's see. Hopefully. Okay, we won fairly easy. Okay, let's go back to defenders once again. Okay, this one is very, very easy. So we are going to use, we probably can use the defenders against them. We should be able to win with the defenders against this team. Let's find out. Oh, no, terrible. Okay, so they were too weak. Okay, let's go to the weak teams. And now we are going to recover that. Hopefully we can use our Kree. Nope. Okay, so now let's try this one. Nope as well, but we can use this one, should be able to win. Okay, there we go. So now you use this one. We still have strong enemies, and this one is not good as well. Let's try the Kree. Okay, the Kree should be able to win this team. Fairly easy, and now we are going back for Red Skull, and let's see, Black Order, Asgardians and Symbiotes, no thanks. And let's try this one instead. Okay, that one is fairly easy. And we are back to Blitz 8.3. Then let's go back to the stronger teams. Symbiotes. And this one should be easy. Let's find out. Okay, this time the symbiotes didn't lose against the defenders. It's so embarrassing. Okay, we have this very, very easy team. This one has more points, so let's be greedy. Let's go for this one and risk a little bit. Okay, it was fairly easy. We won, and now defenders once again. And even that team has Captain Marvel, we should be able to win. We don't have any characters with taunt, usually that's a good thing, but we also have some squishy characters, so let's find out. Please win. Okay, there we go. Easy, easy win. Okay, so let's continue. We have the Pin Tech. So at this point, as you can see, we are going to face these huge enemies. So if we don't have any good team, you want to jump those huge levels, nice amount of levels, and find out new enemies. We should be able to beat this one, even that the Hulk is a little bit scary, but should be fine. Don't let me down. Okay, there we go. So we are going back for the defenders. Now we are going to search for an easy team for the Pin Tech. Pin Tech should be able to beat this one. 69 points, 69,000, nice, we won. And now we have another fairly easy team because Wolverine is very, very slow and Storm is kind of squishy, so we can take advantage of that. And we are going to use Swaim, one of my favorite teams, and should be able to win easy. There we go, and let's see how many teams we have left. So we have the X-Force. The X-Force and the teams that are only for Alliance Wars, you need to pay attention to them because many times they don't have their buffs active, so there is a very, very high chance that you will lose the match. So that's something you need to pay attention to. Okay, so we have that team with the Punisher. Let's use it. I could probably use with those other X-Men, but that Punisher is a little bit scary, so yeah. Okay, now we have that very easy team with the end. So, oh man, that's a very easy team as well. But they have the same points, so we are going for the easiest of them all. And we should be able to win. Okay, 8.31. And now we have this team, but we don't have anyone to face them with. Let's see if the X-Force has any team. Nope. Let's see if we can reshuffle the enemies. We can, but X-Force against this team, probably not. Okay, let's see. We don't have any teams available. So when you don't have any teams available, oh, we have this one. Yeah, Ultron should be able to win this one easy. It's not the most amount of points, but should be a fairly easy win. Okay, there we go. Got scared for a moment. Okay, so we have a weak Ella, we have a Punisher, but now we need to reshuffle because we have that situation I was telling you about of having Ultron with this situation. So you have very strong enemies, and then you have this one that is not so strong. Okay, so let's go. Let's see the Red Skull. If we face any good team for him, we have this one. Should be very, very easy. 43,000. All the points matter. And by the way, I think you have noticed, but the points here bug out because of the Sim Blitz. It happens quite often. And let's see if we have anything for this one. We don't. So let's go back for the X-Force and see if we have a good matchup. This one should be not terrible, but let's try this one first. Come on, Taskmaster, don't let me down. Okay, there we go. We almost lost it, but it was possible. Okay, so a team for the X-Force that Mr. Sinister is a little bit scary, so I'm gonna avoid him. Let's see now. Okay, we need to refresh those enemies. Come on, give me weaker enemies. There we go. So we should be able to win this one fairly easy. Okay, and now which other teams we have left? We have the X-Force. We still have the X-Force here. Oh my god. I think the X-Force can win this one, but I'm not sure. They have a lot of burst damage, and Rhino in the middle can be problematic. I'd rather not. I'd rather be smart about it and just try something else. Okay, so we don't have any teams for the X-Force, so now what you want to do, obviously, is to turn off the Blitz sim. You start the match, and like this, you're going to reshuffle the enemies. So you get started, and as soon as you start, you just quit and do retreat instead of losing on purpose, because if you lose, you lose the 8.3 tier, and that's not exactly you want to do. Okay, so come on, don't lag on me. It lagged a little bit. Okay, so retreat. And because of this, we are going to get new enemies. Now, what I'm going to do is to select a team that is weaker than the X-Force, but that is still on the same range. So the X-Force are on 300,000. So I want a team that I should be able to get a team with this one. Okay, so we have that one with Ella. We should be able to beat these defenders because the X-Force are a little bit stronger. And yeah, I forgot to activate the Sim Blitz. Okay, so let's just press auto, and that's exactly how the Sim Blitz work. And you'll see that it's really important, the character that is in the middle and the characters that are around. So 3 times speed, and I'm just gonna press auto and see if they will be able to win or not. We have the disrupt on Luke Cage, then we have Negasonic blocking that defense up. We are doing very, very little damage, so I think we are actually going to lose here, but we'll see. We have that heal block. We are not doing a ton of damage, but let's see if Deadpool is going to do something with his ultimate. We have X-23 getting rid of the Punisher. That's great because he was very problematic. Now we have Negasonic cleaning those counters. That's quite good. Deadpool gets one shot on Daredevil. Iron Fist tries to feast X-23. She was able to resist his seduction, and now we have Deadpool attacking Jessica Jones, and Negasonic getting rid of her because she likes some female-on-female action. And finally, we have Iron Fist against Cable. Good luck with that. And then Cable with the killing blow. So yeah, we would definitely be able to win with the Sim Blitz. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the video. All the tips I can give you to max out your points for the Sim Blitz and to get the most wins. So I only lost 1 out of like 26 teams, or 26 or 25, so that's pretty good, and that's why I've been able to get tons of points so far, already at 14 million, and this is the first rotation of the day, and my TCP right now is at 9 million, so I think that's decent for the level I'm at right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss. If you found the video helpful and the information useful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.